What is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome back to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in round 3 for the week, and for this particular matchup, we've got Floowandereeze on the left versus Dinos on the right, and I believe this is actually the first time Floowandereeze has ever been on the channel in a live duel, so very, very excited for that. And there goes the die roll. I believe Dino winning the die roll there. And letting the Floowandereeze deck go second, as I believe this particular build of Dinos does like to go second, which is not super uncommon. Although, if you're the Floowandereeze player, you cannot complain about losing die roll and being made to go first, because that's what the deck loves to do. Also, just a little quick update. I'm going to be recording more feature matches this week because I've been missing the past couple Saturdays where I've had to record on Tuesdays. Hence, the feature matches going up later in the week than they usually do. So there will be feature matches starting up right again. I want to say like on Monday. There might not even be a break in between feature matches between round 4 from this week and round 1. So a lot of extra feature matches happening this week. So be on the lookout for that. But Floowandereeze going first and getting into the barrier statue with map, opening up really, really strong here with Eaglin and Robin and map, and getting into the wind barrier statue early on to play around things like Gamma, Nibiru, etc. And also now resolving the M-Pen to go ahead and search the Dreaming Town, which is basically going to allow him to, I think, tribute during his opponent's turn, or conduct a normal summon during the opponent's turn. And then, explain to his opponent what M-Pen does, because he's probably new to this deck. I don't think he's played against this deck, particularly Sardino players played against this deck too much. I mean, it is still a brand new deck at the end of the day. And we're going to see a terraforming here after the little bit of a bird combo is done. And he's going to go ahead and search out Domain of the Monarchs, because Wind Barrier Statue plus M-Pen isn't enough. How about we lock him out of the extra deck too? And there's a Desires to go ahead and banish 10 to pick up 2 more cards. And yeah. Gonna probably slap the Domain down here, maybe set a few back row, and that's a really solid end board. We're gonna activate the Unexplored Winds though as well. You might go ahead and recycle that Robin back to the bottom of the deck to go ahead and draw a new card. And as he does this, I want to take a look at the poll results, because I had a little bit of an announcement to make at the beginning of the video. But ask you guys who you thought would take the L in this particular round, and about 300 votes as I'm recording this commentary, and 62% of you guys saying that Dino is going to lose. Let's see if you guys are correct. Pot of Duality being fired off here, revealing a Mine, a D-Shifter, and a Toucan. Looks like he'll be taking the Toucan here. You could have took Mine as a bit of a backup sort of contingency plan, but he'll be opting to go for the Toucan to have that little bit of resource management during the opponent's turn, as the deck likes to do. And we'll see him play the Domain and pass turn. Now, Dinos is a bit of a conundrum. This is a deck that has in the past not cared too much about being locked out of the extra deck. If you guys remember that Phantom Knight versus Dino match I uploaded a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or so ago, as I'm uploading this video, which that video has a ton of views now, so thank you to everybody that checked that video out. We saw the Dino deck, this exact Dino player, break the Enforcer Scythe board with Dagda and friends, just because UCT is such a hell of a card. But we're gonna see the Lost World get slapped down, and Gadarla, the Kaiju of the hour for everybody right now. It's funny to see that Gamma Seal has been completely moved out of the way in place of Gadarla, because of the presence of Wind Barrier Statue, not only in Floowandereeze, but in, of course, the Tri-Brigade Leerlust deck as well, just becoming the best Kaiju to be playing in the main or side currently, because you don't want to be caught down bad with the Gamma Seal in hand while there's a Wind Barrier Statue up. And our Dino players also open a copy of Pankratops here, which seems to be like he's opened up like almost the perfect counter to this end board. He had the Gadarla for the Barrier Statue, has Lost World, and also Pankratops to contest the Domain or the M-Pen. And it looks like we're going to see him activate Dreaming Town. And in response to Dreaming Town, we are going to see him activate Pankratops, firing that off. And I'm just going to pull up the text of Dreaming Town, because I don't know 100% exactly what it does. So during the main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon level 4 or lower wing beast monster. If you tribute summon a level 7 or higher Monster, while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card, change all monsters your opponent controls to face down defense position. So it's that Book of Eclipse type monster, but also just lets you start normal summoning during the opponent's turn without, you know, relying on something like map to let you do that, since he had to get rid of his map. So yeah, I think there was a bit of a ruling question here, and the question ended up being, in this particular chain link, it's chain link 1 Dreaming Town, or chain link 1 Pankratops, chain link 2 Dreaming Town. They wanted to know if the Lost World would protect immediately, like right in this chain here, or if it would not, or if it would do it later on. But it will. I think our Floowandereeze player just wanted to double check. So yeah, Lost World protecting, Pank trying to resolve, not destroying the token, and now here on a new, or not on a new chain, still in the same chain, Dreaming Town resolving to go ahead and commit that normal of a level 4 lower wing beast, going for Stree here. And on a new chain now, it should be Chainlink 1 Petite, Chainlink 2 Stree, Chainlink 3 Eaglin, since turn player effect goes first, since, you know, Petite was destroyed from the deck. And I think our Dino player is waiting on a possible Chainlink 3, or Chainlink 4 rather, so they're sorting out all this. And now this isn't one of those instances where if you were to say banish the Petite off of the Stree, you know, it wouldn't resolve. That's not what would happen here, because it's still being destroyed. Because I know there was like a ruling update regarding, like, you know, if a card is not where it needs to be when it's trying to resolve, it will not activate. Like if you send like Phoenix Rhino Warrior to the grave off of Twin Twister, and the opponent, like, you know, has a card that banishes a card from the grave, you know, in response to the twin, you know, the Rhino Warrior will get banished from the grave before it has a chance to, you know, resolve in the grave. Therefore, it will not resolve whatsoever. You know, it technically did hit the graveyard for that brief period of time. But it looks like it's a possible Chainlink 4 here. Not a possible Chainlink 4, an actual Chainlink 4. We're going to see Forbidden Droplet dumping a Wind Barrier statue of his own from his from his hand, and sending off the Lost World from his field to go ahead and negate both the Stree and the M-Pen here. Now we're going to see the Oviraptor get special summoned out by the Petite Pteranodon, and that is going to search a copy of UCT. And he does have 2 dinos engraved to be able to summon that out, and that's going to pose a bit of a problem here for our Floowandereeze player, since he has no way of getting more normal summons going during the opponent's turn, because he does not have access to map. He decided to go for the domain lock, and unfortunately for him, the domain lock is really not too impactful against this specific deck because of UCT, and that's basically an extra deck monster in of itself. And to make things worse for our Floowandereeze player, he's also hard open Miscellaneous Saurus too, which is insane. And he's going to go ahead and pitch that, banish it to summon out Archosaur. And then Archosaur is going to pop Oviraptor, and that is going to, in result, search a copy of Double Evolution Pill. So I think we can consider this board cracked. He's trying to link summon here, which he cannot do because of Domain, because he still has a Tribute Summon monster on the field, so he will not be able to go into Anima here. But it doesn't matter, because he can actually just resolve Pill and also spec out a UCT, which is just uber game right here. 3,500 over 27, and then I think like 600, and then at like, or well, Stree and Eagle or M-Pen are halved right now too, so that's just going to be a game of plenty there. And we're into a game 2 situation. Just like that, what would be a really oppressive end board for a lot of the top tier decks right now to deal with, Dino just absolutely breezes through because they do not care about Domain. And I think that's like an example where keeping map would have been better, but to get things started here in Game 2, Floowandereeze going first, and as they get things started here, I want to mention a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. If you guys are interested in picking up amazing playmats, sleeves, deck boxes, dice, binders, mats, and more, check them out at the link below, and don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout to save 10% off your entire order. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please do not forget to use my affiliate link down in the description below, because anytime you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back in the channel and helps out a ton. So yeah, getting back to the game here. Flunder opening up very, very strong, pretty much like identical to the turn 1 end board. M-Pen, map, Wind Barrier, really, really strong opening here, but we saw how easy it was cracked last time. But he did have the Kaiju for the Wind Barrier statue, and that made things a lot easier. So we'll see him end with set 2. Unexplored Winds up as well, which will basically allow him to, you know, tribute or send, I guess, cards from his opponent's field. 1 card from his opponent's field, and then 1 card from his field as well for the tribute summon of a monster. And that paired with M-Pen, like this, he hard opens the Godarla yet again, so that's going to go right over top of the Wind Barrier. Yeah, he had the out, and oh, he's got the Lightning Storm too. That is going to force a Judgment, no questions asked. Cannot just go after the back row like that. You got to protect map. And now we're going to see him activate Dreaming Town on Resolution. And that's going to go ahead and summon out Robin. Chainlink when Robin, Chainlink to Eaglin to go ahead and add itself back. So we'll go ahead and search a copy of Stree. And then we'll see him, I think, commit another normal summon here. Probably Eaglin. Eaglin will go ahead and search out a Ryza, I imagine, or an Apex Avian. So we'll see him normal summon the Eaglin. Eaglin, in fact, going to go ahead and resolve here to go ahead and search again one of the aforementioned cards. Probably Avian in this particular situation. Well, I didn't already have Avian in hand, actually. I think I just caught a glimpse of it there. So he's going to go ahead and actually add the Mega Ryza, which would be a nice backup plan when his opponent decides to normal summon. So we're going to see him tribute out the Eaglin and the Robin for Apex Avian. And then since a monster was summoned, he's going to go ahead and add back that the Robin or a Wing Beast was normal summoned. He can go ahead and add back the Robin to the hand since he has not used that. In fact, he already used Eaglin, though. So now he still has to deal with M-Pen and Apex Avian now, and he still has the advantage that he can generate off of map. So yeah, 2 cards down already for our Dino player, 4 cards in hand left to work with here. Can he crack this board? Normal summon of Archosaur, and let's see if our Flunder player is going to proc map. Of course he's going to proc map. I feel like you have to right now. He's going to tribute off the Godarla and the Archosaur to go ahead and bring out the Mega Ryza, and see if he uses Mega Ryza effect. If he wants to go ahead and stack a card back to the top of each player's deck. Should be pretty nice, but there's a lot of cards there that you don't really want to give back to your opponent. Like, you certainly don't want to give him back, like, Lightning Storm, that's for sure. So it looks like he's going to go ahead and give him back the Archosaur. And Ryza is actually going to go ahead and stack itself. And we're going to see him follow up with double Evolution Pill. That's going to get negated 100% by the Apex Avian. And our Dino player is going to set one and pass turn, hoping he survives here. Which, I mean, Flunder really can't OTK. So he may get to live a turn. All depends on what his top deck could possibly be here, too, and what that set back row is. If it's something like Torrential Tribute, that could be, like, really, really strong. So we're going to see Stree banish the Wind Barrier. Eaglin will add itself back, and then Tribute summon 1 set here, which ends up being a summon limit. That would have been really strong. So being able to tribute that off of the Unexplored Winds, which is insane. And then we'll see him use map here, revealing Robin, which is just, like, really, really good here all around. Yeah, so tribute, you can send a card, send 1 monster you control and 1 card your opponent controls to the graveyard instead of tributing for the summon of a monster that requires 2 tributes. So he's going to bring out Avian. He actually will be able to put on a sizable chunk of damage there. 27, 28, and then I think 27 from the Apex Avian. So our Dino player is going to concede there as we head into a Game 3 situation. A quick reminder to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Appreciate all the support and everything on the channel the past few months. Things have been going really, really well, and I just appreciate everybody that's been here, new and old, watching the content every day, and I really hope you guys are enjoying said content. So we're going to see our Flunder player open up with, I know it's Floowandereeze, but I can't but help just call it Flunder. It just rolls off the tongue so much better, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't know. That name will stick with me for a long time, probably. But we're going to see map get activated here, and our Dino player has actually what is probably the best counter to that card, which is Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and I find that hilarious because, like, our Dino player has always been known for playing unorthodox choices, but this is one of those choices that happens to fit the bill perfectly here. Like, such a good counter, like, low-key against a lot of decks, Live Twin, Flunder, Sword Soul even. Really, really great hand trap, this format. And so you know, coming up clutch here to clear something like map. Because if you can clear map from Flunder, on top of, like, you know, if you don't have something like Lancia or Droll, just having a Ghost Ogre for the map is, like, so good. So we'll see him retrieve back the Eaglin and the Stree here. Get the unexplored winds off of the M-Pen. Now we're going to see a duality for Judgment, Icarus attack, and Mishtish Mine. So we will go ahead and take that copy of Old Man Say No. Speaking of, you can get your Solemn Judgment hats from Imperium Duelist. I'm actually wearing one right now, and it's a very, very nice looking hat. And if you want a hat that shows Old Man Saying No, because that's your favorite card, definitely go ahead and consider picking one up. And don't forget to use my discount code while you do. Many thanks in advance, of course, for those that do. But we're going to see our Flunder player here go ahead and draw 2, I think, off of the unexplored winds after recycling 2. And we're going to see him set 1 mysterious back row. I wonder what it could be. So he's going to have to play through a Judgment at most. Well, Judgment and M-Pen at most. We'll see if our Dino player has the firepower to do it. Fossil Dig is a great start. No point in hitting that with Judgment. Because, you know, there's one thing I've learned against, you know, playing against Dino over the years. It's that they always have more than one. And you also need to realize that Fossil Dig has a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very specific line of text missing from it. That says you can only use this effect, or you can only activate or use 1 Fossil Dig per turn. It does not contain that anywhere on the card. I've looked high and low. I've looked on the back of the card to find that once per turn clause, but it's not there. So you can definitely clown yourself by hitting Judgment on something like Fossil Dig or Ash even. Yeah, just a PSA, don't be burning your ashes on things like Fossil Dig, kids. It's much better to hit the Miscellaneousaurus Engrave, banishing to summon, or hitting Baby with Ash. I think it's just like a lot better most of the time. Or double evolution pill if you you know, make the read. So Judgment is burned on Oviraptor. Pretty okay thing to Judgment there. I don't know if I would have Judgmented that, but I mean, you know, it's a pretty strong normal summon. And then we're going to see him follow up with Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. I mean, it puts him in a rough spot either way. Like, you either don't Judgment the Oviraptor, and then he still gets the search off of it, or the Send, because I believe he's playing Coatlas as well. Again, very unorthodox build, and then you have the option to Judgment the Slumber, but then, you know, that just puts you to 4,000, makes it much easier for you to get OTK'd, which Dino is a deck that can OTK, Pentastag, Dugares, all these crazy cards, Kaijus even, just putting on a ton of damage in their own right. So we're going to see Kumungus hit the board on the left side, and a Dogoran hit the board on the right side after the Slumber is resolving here, and they must attack if able, so Dogoran will swing into Kumungus for a whopping 600 points of damage, and it looks like he will pass turn there as our Flunder player picks up Map for turn. Pretty solid top deck here in dire straits and needed something like that. So we're going to see him reveal Eaglin, and that is going to go ahead and banish 1 from the deck. I'm going to go ahead and banish Robin to get that back. Normal summon Eaglin, Chainlink 1 Eaglin, Chainlink 2 Robin, search level 7 or higher here. And also, speaking of cards you want to hit, hitting Eaglin with any sort of interruption if you can, Imperm Ash Veiler, is much better than hitting anything like Robin, because you want to stop them from getting the big birds to their hand. Things like Apex Avian, Ryza, M-Pen, those are the cards that are going to be impactful that you're going to have to play through. Anything that Robin is searching is, you know, negligible compared to what Eaglin can search. And then Toucan and Stree you really don't care too much about, because they're not searching big floodgatey boss monsters most of the time. So we're going to see the Robin now resolve here to go ahead and search. I believe it's a level 4 or lower. It might just be level 1. I think it's level 4 or lower. Let me just go ahead and double check, because I know for the most part what some of the Flunder cards do, but not exact detail. So yeah, add a level 4 or lower Winged Beast. So we can go ahead and add Wind Barrier statue here. But that's only going to be so good. I mean, actually, you know, Wind Barrier statue wouldn't be too bad, because he's using Map here to start all of this. Because, like, yeah, he could go for Map, and then, yeah, Map. Well, I guess this also poses a problem too, because if you get a normal the statue there off the back of the Robin play, and then normal summon the Ryza. But like there's a huge problem in the graveyard he has to address, and that's Slumber. You can't go for Barrier Statue, and you know, leave the Slumber in the grave. You have to get rid of it. But I mean, I guess at that point you could have like still gone for Barrier Statue, and instead of searching Ryza, you search Apex Avian. So I mean, that's a tough choice. I don't know. I feel like that could have been played a little bit better there, because you know, putting the Barrier Statue on field like puts him on better habit, and Apex Avian can like stop anything that would like you know try to remove the Barrier Statue. And if he's going battle phase to clear it, he needs a normal summon, and it means you're not dying. Like, it means he's not running over all your monsters with UCT, which is something you want to make sure of at this point because of how little life points you have left. So we're going to see Mega Ryza, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, Eaglin. Eaglin add itself back. He's going to go ahead and stack the Animadorn back to the top of the deck. And then to stack the Judgment back to his deck. And then we're going to see him recycle one to draw the Judgment. Spicy plays there. So yeah, I mean, with all that in mind, I feel like there maybe was a play for Wind Barrier plus Avian. I mean, I don't know if he sided out Wind Barrier Statue. I mean, the Slumber could easily force the Avian, but if he had a way to get to Judgment too, then like that seems really, really strong. Well, then getting to the Judgment means he needs Ryza, not just Avian. So I mean, I don't know. If there's a Flunder aficionado in the comments, feel free to you know, chime in if there was a better way to play that out here. But he does have map. He does have Judgment. He does have cards in hand to work off with. I believe one of them being Eaglin, which is very, very important. And we're going to see our Dino player banish 2 Dinos for a UCT. That's going to force the Judgment, putting him down to 17. Very, very low in life points, especially when you take into account how little attack things like Robina and the Stree have. We know, I think he stacked back a Kaiju, I think, back to the top. I can't remember exactly. But he's got Gamma Seal and Kumungus, and that's just going to signal the end of the game right there. Going over the Stree, which I think has lower attack for game by just 100 life points. So yeah, that's going to do it. If you guys want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos popping up on the bottom of the screen right now. And yeah, looks like you guys were incorrect this time around in the polls. And last but not least, a special thanks goes to our Divine Level channel members. They're Cadillacs84, Pony Stark, Keith Sidgers, Tweeter0226, and last but not least, Black Ninja Money. Thank you guys so much for your extremely generous support of this channel.